Loki is the embodiment of chaotic good, a trickster who uses his cunning for the greater good. His journey is a testament to the idea that people can change, that even the most villainous among us can find their glorious purpose in protecting others. Loki's story is a mirror to our own messy lives. We all stumble, we all make mistakes, we all have moments of selfishness and insecurity. But, like Loki, we also have the capacity for growth, for redemption, for choosing a path of compassion and selflessness. Today, we're about to take a wild ride through the glorious, complicated, and utterly enchanting saga of everyone's favorite mischief maker, Loki Laufeyson. We're not talking about some typical hero's journey here. This is Loki. And with Loki, it's always a twist, a turn, a betrayal, and finally, redemption. So where do we even begin with our trickster god? Let's rewind all the way back to Thor 2011. Fresh out of the gate, Loki is essentially the snarky little brother. He's overshadowed by the golden boy Thor, the mighty heir to Asgard. You can practically feel his resentment simmering. He's smart, he's witty, he's got a glint in his eye. And he's clearly got some father issues brewing. Odin, the Allfather, always seems to favor Thor, the muscle-bound oaf over Loki, the brilliant strategist. This, my friends, is the seed of his villainy. It's not some grand, evil master plan right off the bat. It's a deep-seated insecurity, a yearning for recognition, and a desperate need to prove himself worthy. He feels overlooked, unappreciated, and frankly, a bit like the perpetual second fiddle. Who wouldn't be a little miffed? Then comes the big reveal. Loki isn't Asgardian by blood. He's a frost giant, abandoned by his true father, Laufey, and adopted by Odin. This discovery shatters his entire identity. Everything he thought he knew about himself, his family, his place in the universe, is a lie. This is a huge turning point. Imagine finding out your whole life is a meticulously crafted illusion. It's enough to make anyone go a little off the rails, right? And Loki? He goes full throttle. He tries to prove himself more Asgardian than Thor, even going so far as to orchestrate a war with the frost giants to gain Odin's approval. It's a tragic attempt to belong, to be seen, to be loved. But it just comes across as manipulative and, well, villainous. Meanwhile, Thor gets banished for his reckless behavior. Loki sees this as a golden ticket. With Odin in his deep Odin sleep, Loki saw his chance to prove he was the worthy son. He put his master plan into motion, teaming up with the frost giants in a twisted bid to save Asgard and earn Odin's approval. But just as schemes were reaching a fever pitch, Thor, now wiser and more powerful, returned. The two brothers faced off on the bridge Bifrost, a furious battle of strength against cunning. Thor, realizing the chaos Loki's plan had unleashed, was forced to destroy the Bifrost to save the realm. As the brothers clung to the crumbling bridge, Odin awoke. Loki, desperate, pleaded for his father's approval. But Allfather, seeing only his son's ambition and treachery, rejected him. Overwhelmed with despair, Loki let himself go, falling into the vast, unknown void below. After falling from the Bifrost at the end, Loki lands in a wormhole and is captured by Thanos. Thanos then manipulates Loki, tasking him with conquering Earth for a chance to rule a kingdom. This leads to Loki's invasion of Earth. This is peak villain Loki. He's got the scepter. He's got the chittery army, and he's got a serious god complex. He marches into Germany, demands people kneel, and generally acts like a tyrant. He's the undisputed big bad of the movie, hell-bent on conquering Earth and ruling humanity. He's fueled by bitterness, a lust for power, and a desire to make everyone pay for his perceived slights. He stabs Coulson, he battles the Avengers, and he gets a Hulk smash. He's defeated, humiliated, and dragged back to Asgard in chains. This is the Loki everyone loves to hate, the embodiment of chaotic evil. He's got the charisma, the cunning, and the sheer audacity to pull off such a grand scheme. But even here you can glimpse the underlying pain. He's not just evil for evil's sake. He's trying to fill a void, to prove his worth, to be seen as powerful. It's a twisted path to acceptance. Now he's imprisoned in Asgard, looking suitably moody and fabulous, This is where his world turned upside down. When dark elves attack Asgard, he aids them by directing them. Unfortunately, this caused Frigga's death. When his mother, Frigga, is killed, we see a raw, genuine grief from him. This is a huge moment. It reminds us that beneath all the layers of deceit and mischief, there is a vulnerable emotional being. His love for his mother is undeniably real, and her death shatters him. He's forced to team up with Thor to defeat Malekith, and we get a glimpse of their complicated brotherly dynamic. He plays his usual tricks, feigning betrayal, but ultimately, he helps Thor. He even saves his brother before pulling off a classic Loki move by faking his death to escape capture. This is where the lines start to blur. Is he a hero? Not quite, but he's certainly not a pure villain anymore. He's operating in that murky gray area, driven by a mixture of self-preservation, revenge, and perhaps a tiny spark of genuine care for his brother. And then, in true Loki fashion, he reveals he faked his death and is impersonating Odin on the throne. Because, of course he is. He's the trickster god, after all. He can't resist a good prank, even if it's on a cosmic scale. Ragnarok is where Loki's transformation really picks up speed. He's been ruling Asgard as Odin, doing a surprisingly decent job. I mean, in Loki's standards. But when Thor returns, Loki's gig is up. We see him in a much more comedic light in this film, which is a welcome change. He's still a trickster, still self-serving, but there's a playful quality to his mischief now. He's less about conquering and more about surviving and having a good time while doing it. He's forced to work with Thor and Hulk, and their banner is pure gold. He even has a moment of genuine heroic action, helping the Asgardians escape Ragnarok. He makes a choice to stay with his people, to fight alongside them, even when he could have easily abandoned them. This is a significant step towards redemption. He's still got a sarcastic edge, still makes questionable choices, but he's fighting for something beyond himself. He's not just villain or hero. He's Loki, and he's finally embracing that complicated identity. He's not trying to be Thor. He's not trying to be Odin. He's just being Loki, and that's pretty heroic in itself. Just when we thought he was on the straight and narrow, the Mad Titan, Thanos, arrives. Loki, ever the survivor, tries to bargain, to trick his way out. He even makes a brave attempt to stab Thanos, a final act of defiance. And he dies, for real this time. His death is heartbreaking. A poignant end to a long, convoluted journey. He's finally fighting for something bigger than himself, for his brother, for his people. He dies a hero, sacrificing himself to protect Thor and the Tesseract. It's a gut punch, and it solidifies his redemption arc. He went from trying to rule the universe to dying to save it. That's some serious character development. But wait, this is Loki we're talking about. Death is merely a suggestion. During the time heist in the Endgame, a version of Loki escapes with the Tesseract. This is crucial because it gives us the entire Loki series. This Loki is still a villain, full of his schemes and ambitions. He's still the bitter, power-hungry god. But the Time Variance Authority, the TVA, snatches him up. The Loki series is where the true deep dive into his character happens. He's forced to confront his past, his future, and all the various versions of himself. He sees his own villainy, his own betrayals, and ultimately, his own death at the hands of Thanos. This is a massive emotional reckoning for him. He's no longer the charming rogue who can talk his way out of anything. He's stripped bare, vulnerable, and forced to face the consequences of his actions. Meanwhile, he meets Mobius, his unlikely friend, who genuinely believes in his potential for good. Also, he falls for Sylvie, a female variant of himself who embodies his own chaos and pain. He starts to truly care for others, to form genuine connections. He learns about free will, destiny, and the sacred timeline. The series is a beautiful exploration of his identity, not just as a frost giant or an Asgardian, but as Loki. He realizes his glorious purpose isn't to rule, but to protect, to choose, to be. He sacrifices his own freedom and potential happiness to sit at the center of the multiverse, holding it all together, a literal god of stories. He's no longer seeking power for power's sake. He's taken on a role of immense responsibility, one that benefits everyone, not just himself. He's the ultimate hero, not in the traditional sense of punching bad guys, but in a profound, existential way. He embraces his unique abilities, not to manipulate, but to understand and to help. He literally becomes the architect of the multiverse's stability. He's not just a hero. He's a cosmic guardian. He's not just a hero. He's a cosmic guardian. He went from wanting to rule a single planet to sacrificing everything to protect all of existence. What a phenomenal turnaround. He's no longer driven by bitterness or a need for external validation. He's driven by a sense of responsibility, by love, and by a profound understanding of his place in the cosmos. His journey reminds us that hero isn't a title earned by perfection, but by embracing our flaws, learning from our mistakes, and ultimately choosing to use our unique gifts for the betterment of the world. And in Loki's case, the betterment of all the worlds. So raise a glass, or perhaps a dagger, to Loki, the god of mischief, the trickster, the villain, and ultimately, the most unexpected and perhaps most compelling hero in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. What a journey! Honestly, who wouldn't be captivated by such a glorious character arc? If you enjoyed this deep dive into Loki's glorious saga, don't forget to like this video and share it with a friend who loves the God of Mischief as much as we do. For more deep dives like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.